mysteries that I found. I try to get my feet on higher ground. The promises of thy word are written down in my heart. And now you're with me, Lord. No one will keep us apart.
Because of you,
I can show the world I love them. I can show the world I care. I can wipe away my tears. These things I can do. And when that burden lays heavy on your shoulder, and I'm being put to the test, he said, come ye who are heavy laden, come ye, and I will give you rest.
because of you,
I can show the world I love them. I can show the world I care. I can wipe away my tears. These things I can do. And when the problems come, bringing on a storm, Jesus' tender love keeps me safe and warm. The enemy only comes to lie, to cheat and steal, but there's nothing he can do to take us from the love of you.
because of
I try to understand the little mysteries that I found. I try to get my feet on higher ground. The promises of thy word are written down in my heart. And now you're with me, Lord. No one will keep us apart.
because of you,
I can show the world I love them. I can show the world I care. I can wipe away my tears. These things I can do.
because of you,
I can show the world I love
because
them.
of you,
I can show the world I care. I can wipe away my tears. These things I can do.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. This is Pastor Errol Williams here for another. Well, I can't even say for another because this is my very first fun time live. I've been looking forward to a session like this for a lot of years actually. It's not a direct Bible studies as we normally have from Monday to Thursday, but the second, third, and fourth Wednesday of each month, we're doing some fun time live with Pastor Errol. So I intend to do quite a few things, and not even sure what I'm going to do tonight, but I do have a few things planned. But if you have any questions or any comments whatsoever, please do go ahead and put that in the chat room. So this is my first fun time live. As I said, it's something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. So I will talk about in a moment what I will be doing. But just to remind everyone that we are streaming live to YouTube, Facebook, and also Zoom, as well as to our website page. So blessings to you all in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So great to be here with you tonight. I hope all is well with you and your wonderful family. So thank you so much for joining us for my very first fun time live here on the channel. So you never know, I might just go ahead and play some music in the background, turn it up a bit and all kind of stuff, because this is fun time with Pastor Errol Williams. Hope you're doing well. If you think that the content of what I may share with you is good content, then please go ahead and share it. Share the link with somebody, because I certainly intend to share some really powerful and important information. Some might even be Bible related, who knows, and we will see exactly how things pan out and how things develop and so on. So I intend to look at things like personal development tips. I'm going to play games. All this won't be tonight, okay? All this won't be tonight. Just wouldn't have enough time to cover it tonight. So I'll be sharing some tips. I'll be playing some games. Could be chess, could be backgammon. I'm a lover of chess, and I play backgammon quite a lot with people around the world. So those are two really amazing games that I play regularly as a time, I wouldn't say a time saver, a time waster, whatever, but in terms of my own personal development as well as my social development as well. And so I've been able to learn those disciplines. Jokes as well. I'll tell a few jokes every now and then. Software development training. So I'll run through a few software that I think everyone should have. Okay. I will also share some live streaming tips. So if you're interested in live streaming, and in a moment, I'm going to share with you the live streaming tips that I use, and you may want to do your own live stream. So maybe tonight will be around that. I'll be also doing some interviews with people. I'll also share some relationship tips. And just to go back on personal development, actually, I decided I'm going to write another book. And I've started it, actually, funny enough. So I will give some tips about if you want to be an author, how do you go about that? How do you do that? And so on. I'll also give some promotional shout outs, certain things that I'm promoting that I think are really cool tools that you should really investigate. I will also talk about some financial tips as well, and some great deals that I've come across, and etc. etc. So this will be every second, third, and fourth Wednesday. Now, the links are always going to be at cogop.com. There it is right at the bottom. So cogop.com. All the links are there. That's the website for our local church. So it's an honor to be with you. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. So it's fun time with Errol Williams. So you'll see a lot of things that I do, and just have fun, because life is about fun, isn't it? We should have fun. I love fun. And I will also share some of the things I do to have fun. I'll share some of that with you. So don't forget, the chat rooms are open. You can ask me any question that you like. As I said, tonight is not necessarily about Bible studies per se. I'll be looking at the book of Romans tomorrow. Tonight is about having fun and just having fun. I just love having fun. In a moment when I finish this, I go downstairs and have some fun with my daughter and my wife. They're sitting down there now, having fun actually. So I just join with them and just laugh and joke and make trouble and things like that. So that is great. So thanks for joining us tonight. I'm just gonna dive over into the chat room just to see who's here for now. Welcome, 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 everyone. This is Pastor Errol Williams here on his number one Fun Time live series, and I am so thankful and excited to see you guys. And I'm wondering why on Fun Live does my page not show up? It will show up in the next few seconds, no doubt. There you are. I did say that, few seconds, and it's just arrived. So I want to say welcome to Sister Winty. Greetings to you on our very first Fun Time. Deacon Stanley, blessings to you, sir, and your wife. Great to have you with us. Brother Clive, thank you so much for joining us. Sister Juliet, Charles, blessings. The oldest man on record, Methuselah, lived to be how old? Yeah, I think it was 965 years or 969 years. I think that's how long he lived. You could just do a double check on that for me. Brother Clive, just check that for me, please. Methuselah, yeah, absolutely, Methuselah. I think he lived to 900 and something years. So that was amazing, absolutely amazing. So welcome to number one of my live Fun Time series, and I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I was wondering how am I going to do it, and the time has now arrived. So thank you for joining me on Fun Time Live number one, and this will be every second, third, and fourth Wednesday, and fifth as well, if there is a fifth one, and so on. So there's a lot of things I got to plan and organize for us to just have fun. So don't forget as well, please ask any question. Ask me any question you like. I'm happy to, 969 years. Thank you, Brother Clive. Bless you for sharing that. So Methuselah, the oldest man on record that ever lived up to 969. Some of us can't even make it to 69 years, right, with good health. And he lived to 969. That's some years. And he had so many birthdays, right? It is Fun Time Live, so let's have some fun. He had 969 birthday. What is the only book of the Bible that does not contain the word? The word. I'm wondering if it's Esther, the book of Esther. It does not contain the word God. I think that's the way we understand it. The book of Esther does not contain the word God in that book. And there has been a lot of debates over the years as well as to whether or not the book of Esther should be in the scriptures because it didn't acknowledge God. But when you look at that book and you read it and you see the lessons behind it, you have to say God had to be present. His presence was evident and so on. Blessings, Brother Clive. Yes, it's Esther. So let me start off then by sharing with you. I'm going to talk about a little bit about live streaming tonight, and just share with you how I'm set up, the things that I do. And let me just say this before I show you that slide. Actually, you don't have to do it this way. There is other ways in which you can do it. So I'm going to share with you. So for those of you who would love to do live streaming, I'm going to show you my setup. My setup is a very professional setup. It is the top of the game, if you like. But there are cheaper version, much cheaper. So my way is quite a bit of money actually. So I'll just walk you through live streaming. So for those of you who are interested in live streaming or interested in how I do my live streaming, then this will be useful for you. So I'm going to share with you this picture of how I do it. Who was the first Christian martyr? Many would say that it was Stephen. He was the first Christian martyr, but many might say it was Jesus, right? Because he was died. But a lot of people don't look at Jesus as a martyr, even though he was. So when we say Christian martyr, we a lot of people don't like the term Christian. They kind of try to shy away from the word Christian, because when the word Christian was used, it was used in a derogatory sense in Antioch and so on. It wasn't a name given to us by Jesus. It wasn't a name given to us by God. So the term Christianity is not a biblical, phrase. Neither is apostolic or Pentecostalism. You with me? Those things are not biblically sound. It's what terms we come up with later. So a lot of people do not go by those terms. I don't go by, someone say, what religion are you? Are you Pentecostal or are you apostolic? And I said, I'm none of those. You mean, even though the church I'm in is referred to as a Pentecostal church, when we say Pentecostal, we're talking about the Holy Spirit, speaking in tongues. I believe in all of that, and I believe in Pentecost. Don't get me wrong, but I don't label myself as a Pentecostalist. I label myself as a child of God to live holy. I go by the Bible terms, but I'm not saying all those terms are wrong. I'm just saying I just don't go by them. So, who was the first martyr? Well, people could go back to even the prophets of all who had been martyred, you and me. But most people, when that question is asked, would point the finger to Stephen in the New Testament. All right, here's my setup then for live streaming tips, and I'm going to share with you. And this is my setup right here. It's an amazing setup, actually, because as I said, I didn't always have this setup when I first started, but it's evolved into this. And I'm using, as I say, some of the top software, the top gear. And that's why, the stream can be so professional, because I have to do a lot of, for example, I'll come back to some of the things I do in regards to the live streaming in a moment. But I got what we call a C920 HD Pro webcam. So I use a webcam. So I don't use a camera that's built into the computer. It's actually sit on top. So it's actually literally sitting on top of my computer right now, pointing at me. And it's just pointing at me at the moment. So I'm using what's known as a green screen. Okay, so if I were to, for example, let me see if I can do this. If I were to turn off my green screen, let me see if that would work. If I turned it off, let me see. I hope I don't mess anything up. If I turn up my green screen, that's how it is. So my wife painted the wall. All right. So just to let you know the secret, guys, my wife painted the wall. So it's a green screen. So when I take out the green behind me, then this is what happens. Then it turns into that. So it looks as if I'm all over. But if you notice here, if I do this, if I then put my hands out or above, you can see it's cut off. You with me? So if I take away the green screen, you will see that my hands and it's cut off. So I have to kind of stay within this particular box, but it gives the this impression as if, and that as if you get the drift of what I'm saying. So it's just really truly amazing. So that's the camera I'm using, and I have a green screen behind me. So anything I have green, if I'm wearing, say, a green shirt, it will go straight through me. So for example, I've got this green cup. You can see that the green cup, it's a green cup. Let me just go back into so that you can see that this is a green cup. Yeah, this is a green cup. It's literally a green cup. But because all the green is being taken out, then it shows invisible. So somebody once, I was drinking some water out of this once, and someone says, can they have one of those cups? So you can see the setup is quite interesting. So that's how that particular, but that particular webcam is not the best webcam on the market. There are better ones out there, and it's a Logitech one. So I use a Logitech C90. I've had this for years. It's an HD high definition camera, and it's just powerful. So I just don't need to upgrade it yet. There are better ones out there, but this does the job. So I decided to stay with it. I've had it for maybe 20 years or so. And they sell for around, just under £100 now. So you can get that for just under £100. Now, the next thing beside it is what we call a voice meter, potato voice meter. Now, you don't have to have that because you probably won't need it. But what used to happen basically is that I used to have a mixer, physical mixer on my desk, and that mixer took up a lot of room. So now I have what we call a virtual one. So that's a software. This voice meter potato is a software, and it takes over all of my audio from the computer. So everything is managed through it. So I manage everything through it. Okay. You could look it up on YouTube, but it's free, and it's free. I love free. And that to me is the most powerful tool out there. And so I could have, for example, into that voice meter, I could have 8 input into it, some which are physical, and also have 8 output. It's just truly remarkable. It's all software driven. So that has replaced a physical device that I had. In fact, the physical device is underneath my bed now, and I'm now using software, no wires whatsoever. Every wire is now virtual. That's just the way the game is at the moment. You will see the vMix Pro. I have what we call the vMix Pro. I use a vMix software, but there's some free ones out there. And the vMix that I paid, it's around £1,200, okay, $1,200. But you can get free ones out there. There are free ones that you can actually get that really works as good as it, actually. And a lot of gamers and a lot of other people, they use different free software. But why do I use a paid one? Because there are certain things that the paid one has that the free one doesn't have. Okay, so I won't go into that, but it's just amazing. To me, it's the best software out there now. vMix only works on Windows. It doesn't work on Mac. So that's good. Now, my Blue Yeti Pro microphone, you see me talking. This is not my microphone, by the way. It is a microphone, and I could turn this on and use this as a microphone. Let me see if it would work, actually. I'm going to try and turn it on. So I'm going to go to the voice meter potato. I'm going to try and see if I could turn on that particular microphone. So I could hear it now. So right, I've turned off the other one. You probably can hear me through it. It sounds a little different to the other microphone, but I'm now using this microphone, and it might sound a little different to the way the other ones sound. But and I have 2, because if the first one goes down, then I can actually revert to this particular one. But I mostly use this. This is what we call the office runner. I use it as my headset. So if I play music, I'm hearing it through this, but I'm speaking through another one. So let me go back to the original. Right. So I'm back now to the first microphone, which is the Blue Yeti Pro, which is right here. It's right here. You can see it. I'm lifting it up. It's just beneath, the view there. So I'm speaking literally into it at this particular point, but you can't see it, but it's right in front of me. It's an all-round microphone. It's just amazing, actually. Blue Yeti Pro is the most amazing microphone I've found on the market, and so on. But there are other ones out there like this one, as I say. But I use this, so if I play music, for example, so I'm going to play some music now. So I'm hearing this music, and let me just turn it up so that if you you can hear it. Right. So that music, I can hear it in this here, because I need to have something that's not feeding back into the microphone, so that if I play this, it won't fall back into the microphone and so on. So Yeah, I like that music. That's awesome. So let's just do. So that's my microphone system that I use. It's just an amazing setup. It's just beautiful. And the office runner, I ordered it. Someone, brought it over from America. You can get them in the country anyway. And the interesting thing about it is I can actually have something played on the computer and walk all the way down the road to my car, and I'm still hearing what's going on. So sometimes I'm on a Zoom conference call, but I need to do something. So I just walk away, but I'm still in the meeting. I'm still listening. They can't see me. And I could use this microphone to talk to them, even though I'm way away somewhere else. It really is a powerful microphone. However, the thing that make all this really important, because of the amount of live streaming I do, is the computer. The actual computer is really important, the CPU and all of that stuff. I won't go into that, but I have the AMD RYXN 12 core processor and so on. So this was purchased so that I could do the Illuminate service, because it's a big production. The Illuminate service, huge production. Then I have this Stream Deck here. Just turn the music off just for a moment. I have this Stream Deck, which basically I press a button. Like you will see me from time to time. I will press a button. Chapter and verse. Oh, yeah. And then it just come back. So I use that just to just to do some funny stuff. If I want to, let's say, whatever, I just press a button and it happens. You hear me? And that's called a Stream Deck. I have the Stream Deck XL. It's one of the most powerful tool out there, actually, because you just press buttons. So for example, when I have people I'm interviewing, or people who, you got a lot of people on the show, like when we used to do the men's session on a Friday, I need to talk to them. So I'd press the button, talk to them, so the audience can't hear, and I'm able to communicate to them and let them know exactly what needs to happen next and so on. I also have these amazing lights above me. They're based, one is based at 10 o'clock and one is based at 2 o'clock. So if you got 12 o'clock in the middle, then look at 10, look at 2 o'clock. They're just based there. They're very high up, so that it's not reflecting back into my camera, into my glasses. So it's got to be set properly. It's got to be set in a way that, there's no less glare. You with me? Sometimes there is a little bit, which is not too bad. So like tomorrow I got a funeral and I'll be doing it with this setup. I got to make sure that the glare is not there. And then I use a mobile phone for my text, but the one that is really so important is the iPad, because I use the iPad. So when you see me writing on a board, so for example, you will see me make certain comments on here. I'm actually literally writing on the iPad using this Apple Pencil. You can see right here. So I got this Apple Pencil and I've got this iPad, and I'm literally able to use it as a whiteboard. So I can actually do all kind of fancy stuff on it. I don't always, do it, but you can do it, just draw what you have to draw and all kind of stuff. It's just truly phenomenal what you can do. I could even, do things like that and all kind of stuff. So it's really powerful to be able to have that kind of facility and that kind of setup. Now you can see basically underneath all the software that has to be used, but the live streaming to Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, and the website, the software that I use are like Photoshop, Canva, vMix, Voicemeeter, DaVinci Resolve. And if you like DaVinci Resolve, you got to get that copy. It's a free software. I got the paid version, but it's a free software. Canva is free. I got the paid version, but it's just amazing. Okay, so those of you that are see me every night, at least you get an idea of what I have to do and the setup. How long does it take me to set up? Sometimes all day. Because anything can go wrong at any time. So that's my setup here, and there are other things I do, but that's the main setup. And I will talk about software another time, and so on. So let me just head over to the chat room and let's just see who is here with us tonight. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on It's Fun Time #1 with Pastor Errol. Greetings to every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Sister Elaine, greetings and blessings to you. Who gave manna to the Israelite while they were in the desert? What does the word manna mean? Yeah, I think some of you could just answer that, because if I answer them all, then I don't give you the chance to do that. So go ahead and answer. Which woman is mentioned most in scripture? Very good question, actually. And which woman is mentioned the most in scripture? So that's a very good question. That I've never come across that question, Jen, and you're my quiz master. So blessings. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead in the chat room and just answer those questions. You can answer those questions as well in Zoom as well, and on Facebook, and that will come to me. So which woman is mentioned the most in scripture? And secondly, who gave manna to the Israelites while they were in the desert? What does the word manna mean? So that's two good questions. So please go ahead, put those in the chat room, and let's come back to those and see where we are on that. So that would be fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So thank you, Jenny. Let's see if we can get some takers on that. Now, I want to share something with you, because I think that there are some things which are really, really important. And I did mention that there are certain free software that you could, if you plan to do, say, for example, your own live streaming, and that's fantastic. So you can do your own live streaming, for example, with say, for example, a FaceTime. So you can just take your phone and just go on FaceTime and just do your thing. Okay, so that's really not a problem. You can do that on FaceTime. And a lot of churches do that. So they stream their services just with their phone. And that's the most basic and easiest way that you can possibly stream your services, stream what you want to do. And that's fantastic, actually, because if you're into doing your own live streaming, you can do it. So if you have any questions, please put those in the chat room for me, please, because that way I can actually answer specific questions that you may have, because I think that really, that is a powerful thing if you're interested in that. So let me know what you're interested in, because I don't want to bore you with my stuff. I want to really able to help you if there's something specifically that you want me to focus on. I will say in advance what I'll be looking at so that people are aware. So if you choose to come, then that's perfectly fine. Pastor Catherine, welcome to you as well. Welcome to our fun session with Pastor Errol. So I just thought I would share with you, first of all, how I'm set up. So especially those of you who are here each evening, at least you get to see what I'm using, some of the challenges I may face, and some of the opportunities that arises, and go from there. And how you yourself could actually, if you want to, and I can help you with that, and I would promise to help you with that if you're interested, in that help you yourself to actually, you know, achieve that as well. So if you are interested, do let me know, and I'll be more than happy to assist you and help you with regards to what you choose to do. Okay, and I'm here, and I do know a little bit. Yeah, I think I know a little bit. Yeah, I think I know a little bit, and yeah, I'll be delighted to share it with you if you are interested in wanting to know. Right. There are some free stuff out there. Again, let me know if you want to know. Natasha McLean said it's Mary. So the woman that's most mentioned in the Bible. Which Mary is this, Natasha? Which Mary? Is it Mary Magdalene? Is it Mary, the mother of Jesus? So let us know which Mary you're referring to. Welcome, Sister Sarai. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining me on a fun time live with Pastor Errol Williams. So if you're interested in your own live streaming, let me know, and I will indeed be happy to assist you with regards to that. So do let me know in regards to that. Right, I'm going to do something here. I'm not so sure it's going to work, but don't think it will work. Let me just try something. I'm going to, no, it shouldn't work. It shouldn't really work. It shouldn't work. Okay, let me try another way. I wanted to share my screen with you, but I'm not so sure if it's going to work the way I want it to work. So let me think here on that one. Right, so let me, yeah, I really want to show you a particular software that I think everybody ought to have it. I think really everybody should have this particular this particular software. All right, display one, display two, display one, display one, display two. Okay, I'm going to leave that till next week. Actually, the point I was wanting to. Okay, all right. Here's something that I plan to share with you. Now, I did say that this is not necessarily a Bible study tonight, and it's really not a Bible studies, but I wanted to share something with you I think would be useful, and it is to do with a personal development tip. Okay, and our fun time tonight. And most of my personal development tips, if not all my development tips, generally speaking, can be found in the scriptures. And there is one particular tip that I think everyone should really adhere to and actually, live their lives by. So one personal tip would be this, and I'm gonna share with you one tonight. And it's the idea basically of making absolutely certain that you have a vision of what it is that you want to achieve. So I'm going to share with you something that I think on fun time should be really fun, but it's powerful. I think that if you follow this personal development tip, I think it's going to take you to the sky and back. And I think it's just so powerful. So basically, I think that if you do this tip, I think great advantage. Okay. So the first thing basically is to make sure that you know what your goal in life is. Okay. And it's the same. We could use other words like vision. We could use other words like, objective, you know, sometimes people look at these words differently, but to me, they're all the same thing. You know, another word that the Bible uses is the word hope, the thing that we hope for. You know, Jesus said, whatsoever thing you desire when you pray. So it could be something you have as a desire, but it all falls into this one bracket of your goal. What is your goal? And I think we are kind of like 3 months into the process, into the calendar already. January, February, March, 4 months, April. So there's 8 months left to go. So maybe it's worth considering what are the top 3 things that you would like to achieve between now and the end of this year. This is Fun Time with Pastor Errol Williams, right? So 3 things, just 3 things, just 3 goals that you'd like to achieve, 3 dreams that you'd like to fulfill. Just 3. Just 3. Just 3. You know, I don't know. Maybe to pass your driving test. Maybe to pay off on that house mortgage that you had. Maybe to go on holiday. But just 3. If you want to do 4, you want to do 5. That's perfectly okay. But what's your desire? What's your hope? What's your vision? What's your objective? What's your goal? And I'm saying, or another word that we often use is your aim. You know, what is your aim? You know, your aim. What is it that you want to achieve? Just 3. You know, the scripture puts it this way: the wisest man, you know, where there is no vision, you know, the people, they perish. So I strongly recommend that what you don't want to do, basically, is you don't want to set too many goals and then get frustrated when you don't complete them all. You may have more than 3. It's entirely up to you. It could be 5. It could be 6. It could be 7. But you're going to make sure that you achieve it. Some of you here, right? You've said to yourself, maybe you've said to yourself, I'm going to write my book. Ask me how I could help you. Just put it in the chat room, and just ask me, and I will show you how you can write your book, and I'll give you the tips of how you do that. There are tools out there that you can even write a book and produce it for absolutely 0 and make passive income. Yeah, did you hear me good? Yes, you did. You can write a book for free, publish that book for free on the internet, and earn passive income. Yeah, just ask me how and I'll tell you. I'll let you know into the secrets that others are indeed using, and we will share that with you. So what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your vision? What are your objectives? What's your aim? What are you hoping to do? What are you desiring to achieve between now and Christmas? What you don't want is to set, you know, these goals, but they're so big, they're so many. But we're just talking about until the end of this year. Maybe you want to lose 2 pounds or a stone. What are your top 3 or top 5 or even top 7 or even top 10 of things that you want to achieve between now and the end of this year? I think that's worth a turn up on the music on that one, I think. This is one of my favorite music. This entire track, I got it off YouTube. Instrumental, relaxing music. It's just phenomenal. And I have the opportunity of having it free. Absolutely remarkable. So what's your goal? What's your goal? The second thing I'm going to share with you tonight is that now that you know what your top 3, top 5, top 10 things that you want to achieve are, make sure you have a plan for all of them. Make sure you have a plan. That's the same word that we often use as strategy. Are you with me? You've got some form of design. Are you with me? Because if you fail to plan, you must have heard that phrase before, right? If you fail to plan, you literally plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you planning to fail. So if you have no plan for those things that you want to achieve as your goals, then really you're going to fail. You're planning to fail. Everyone has a plan. It's either a plan to succeed or a plan to fail. And the plan really is very, very simple. I want to just show you what a plan really is and how simple it really is to put together. A plan is really who is going to do what by when. You might actually want to put in the where. You may also want to put in the how you're going to do it. You might also want to put in the cost. You might also want to put in the risk, that if there's going to be any risk, or you might also want to put in the resources. You get my drift? The who, what, when. When I'm in a meeting, all I want to know basically is who is going to do what by when, the time scale. Are you following me? But if you have no plan, that you have actually designed a strategy, well, there is one for you, and it's called failure. You see, a goal without a plan is just a wish list. Let me say that again. A goal without a plan is just a wish list. You got to have some form of idea in your mind. Even if you haven't committed it to paper, you got this plan in your mind as to exactly what needs to be done. For example, if you're going on holiday, right? That's your goal. You decide you're going to go on holiday to the West Indies. You don't just turn up at the airport. You actually make a plan. Got to check that my passport is not out of date. I got to make sure I pay those money for the flight. I've got to make sure I do my packing. I've got to make sure I have, security in place for my property when I leave. I've got to sort out my insurance. Are you getting my drift? You're making a plan. Even if you don't write it down on paper, in your mind, you know what the plan is and you execute it so that on the day of your flight, everything is in order. You know how you're going to get to the airport. You know when you get to the other side, who's going to pick you up. I was sent on holiday, and I'm so grateful. In January, I was sent on holiday to Jamaica for 2 weeks. It was amazing. And the amount of planning that went into that, it was just phenomenal. I had the most amazing time. Don't forget, you're here, ask me questions to find out. It's fun time with Pastor Errol. So make sure this plan here, make sure you put it into operation. Make sure you commit it, because could you imagine for a moment that you put a tender out for someone to build your dream retirement home, and it's going to cost you £1 million to build that. So this guy or this company contacts you and says, we can build it for you. that we can build your dream, we can build your dream, your goal, your desire, your hope, your aim, your vision, your objective. We can do that for you, and we will start that next week. Wouldn't you say to the developer, can I see the architectural drawing? Wouldn't you want to see the design? Wouldn't you want to see this? Imagine the guy turned up and he says, well, I don't really have, an architectural drawing. I know exactly what you want. We're coming and we're going to start next week. You wouldn't have that. You wouldn't allow that. You certainly would not allow that under no circumstances whatsoever. So you will make absolutely certain that he developed an architectural plan. There's a scripture that says, except the Lord build a house, they labor in vain that builded it. So God is a builder, and the builder is a builder. Are you following me? So God is a builder, and the builder is a builder. How does God build? God is a designer. He builds by design. In other words, he gives us the design, the blueprint, the architectural drawing. What is the architectural drawing that God gives us? That's his word. God is a designer, and he gives the design. We are the laborers who then put it all together. So you've got to have a goal. The next thing, number 3, that you want to focus on, this is step number 1. This is step number 2. And step number 3 is you want to make absolutely certain that you put it into action. It's that wonderful word, do. Doing. Action. And this is where we separate the men from the boys, the girls from the women, is some people have great plans. They've got amazing goals, but they don't put them into action. This is where Bishop Mike Wilson gave us this mighty big word, implementation. T-I-O. When Bishop Mike gave us that word, I said, Bishop Mike, we are not from the university, we are from the ghetto. so we said to Bishop Mike, we are from the ghetto. At the time I couldn't even read and write. I said, Bishop, he wasn't a bishop. I said, Brother Mike, we are from the ghetto. We need you to talk in Gethology language. And so he was the one that broke it down into goal and plan and action. But this is a big word he was using on us. Do you know the word that he used for plan? He had this massive word, formulation. You see, look how long it's taking me to write that word, formulation. I mean, it was just, do you know what the word he had for goal? I still remember it. Perception. That was the word that Bishop was using on us. These big, everlasting words. And we are telling him, we are from the ghetto. We don't understand what you're talking about. You're speaking French. Well, he's a French speaker. We said, Bishop Mike, we can't understand you. Could you break this down into Gethology? And that's exactly what he did for us. Listen to this carefully, brothers and sisters. If you have a goal and you have plans and you do not action it, it's not going to happen. You got to be disciplined. You got to be consistent. You have to persevere. You decide to start writing a book and you got a plan, and you got to stick to it until it is finito. Listen to this carefully. And this is a great example. I have a book in my hand here. I went to prison and did some training for some young black men. And one of them asked me about writing a book because I'd written a book, and I says, I only have one thing to tell you. One thing. That's all you need. You don't need nothing else. And I said to him, all you have to focus on is to write a minimum of one line per day. That's it. Don't worry about the cost. Don't worry about proofreading. Don't worry about how much money it's going to cost you to produce it and all kind of stuff. Don't worry about the promotion. Don't worry about the marketing. Don't worry about nothing. All you have to do is focus on one line per day. Well, this young man, when he first went to prison, that was 17 years ago. 17 years ago. And I visited him on several occasions and so on. And I went to see him on Tuesday. And he said to me, you know, Pastor Errol, I've written a book. I took your advice. And this is the book here. I'm not in agreement with the content, but I'm going to read the book because he wrote it. And I've started reading it. And there are certain things I'm learning about him that I didn't know before, but he's got it in the book. And he said to me that when he was writing the book, this is something I told him 17 years ago. He said to me that he remembered the advice that I gave him, one line per day. And may that be a tip to anyone here that is planning to write a book. When you make that goal, you need to say, well, listen to me. Let me make it quite clear about the goal part of it. Don't just say, I want to write a book. No. Don't just say that has no deadline to it. Now, I want you to notice something here. There is a system that is used all over the world, and it says that you must make sure that your goals are SMART. So you must make sure you have SMART goals. Specific, it must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be realistic, and it must have a time to it. You can look that up on the internet, SMART goals, okay? Look it up, SMART goals. Just type in the internet, SMART goals. It will come out at you immediately. So your goals need to be specific, not beating around the bush. It needs to be clear. It needs to be direct to the point. It needs to be measurable. So when you say, well, I want to write a book, that's not measurable. If you say, I'm going to write my book by the 25th of December, 2023 or 2024, that's measurable because there's a date, there's a time. If you say, well, right, I'm going to lose 10 pounds of weight, that's measurable. We could measure where you are now and where you want to be according to your goal. And we could measure that to see, well, have you achieved it? Very simple. So make sure your goals are specific. They're clear. They don't beat around the bush. They're measurable. You can measure it. It's achievable. Someone says, well, I'm earning 20,000 pounds a year. Within the next 12 months, I want to be earning 50,000 pounds a year. That's not realistic. It might be achievable, by the way, but it's not realistic. Because if you only earned, it might not even be achievable. If you're only earning 20 now, what's the chances of you earning 100,000 or 200,000? You might want to make small incremental steps, unless there is something that exploded in your life that could make that possible. But if you're working in a company and you're earning 20,000 a year, and you're looking for a promotion, and you're in the same company, you're not starting up a new business, and you say, well, I want to be able, my goal is to make 40,000 from the same company. Well, that doesn't seem achievable and realistic. So you want to make sure it's achievable. You can achieve that. It's realistic. And it's also got a time. A goal without a time, wish list. A goal without a time is just a wish list. It's just a wish. Like I said, well, I'm getting married. I'm getting married. Well, when are you getting married? That's the first question we're going to ask, isn't it? Apart from who you're getting married to, but when are you getting married? Well, next year, June. Well, that's measurable. and that's something that we could actually measure. Okay, so that's powerful. So make sure your goals are SMART goals. Okay, they're SMART goals. They're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they're time bound. Look up on the internet and that. So you should make sure, step number one, that you have your goals. Okay, as Bishop said, the perception, that which you can see it into the future, your plan, your action. And then finally, number four, and really number four is really absolutely amazingly awesome. And this is review. Champions always review. And this, you want to hear, you want to see the word that Bishop Mike shared with us. And it was the word Bishop Mike shared was evaluation. Or validation or evaluation. That's the word that he used. I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. What's evaluation? What's all these big words you're using? But one of the things that you got to get into the habit of doing is reviewing where you are, where you're planning to go. That was your goal. You want to review. Let me just make a note of that. And I want to change the color. Let me use black. So you want to make sure you review your goal. In other words, where am I in line with my goal? Are you with me? So you need to review. Am I achieving it? Did I set out to achieve 3 things? Where am I? How is things going? Am I on track? Do I need to change the date? Whatever. The next thing that you need to review is the plan. How is the plan going? Is the plan appropriate? Is it the right plan? Do I need to adjust it? Are there issues that's causing it not to happen? The other thing that you want to review, you want to also review the action. Am I taking action? Am I disciplined enough? Am I persistent enough? Am I consistent enough? How is it? Are people doing what they're supposed to be doing? And the other thing you want to also review, and this is very, very important, is what have I learned? What have I learned? What have I learned not to do? What have I learned to do more of? So you want to make absolutely certain that you're reviewing the goal, you're reviewing the plan, you're reviewing the action, you're reviewing lessons learned and things like that. Very, very important. You might hear words like Bishop Tedroy told us overseers, we've got to do appraisal. So every minister need to be appraised. Every pastor need to be appraised. Every regional supervisor. Now, just to let you know, I'm no longer called a regional overseer anymore. I'm now called a regional supervisor. So the names have changed and so on. So I'm quite happy with that. So it's amazing actually that, I have 8 pastors that I support, I help, and so on. And I have to sit with them for maybe an hour and a half. There's a process I have to go through after that. I got to write up the notes and look at the action point. But the amazing thing about it is that in the review or the appraisal or the evaluation, we can see strength. There is another system that we use called, and I put this in red, and you can look that up, and it's called SWOT, SWOT, and you can put a dot in between these. It means when you evaluating and you're praising, you're looking for strength. You're looking for where that person's strong point is, and when you look at strength, you want to build on their strength. That's the B. You want to build on their strength. This person is really strong at this. This person is really good at this. So you want to give them more of that to do and build upon that. The other one is what we call weakness. And so what we want to do is eliminate or minimize the weakness. And a weakness might be what we call development areas. So in other words, the way that we may eliminate it is through maybe training. Maybe they need to watch a video. Maybe they need to go on a particular course. So you want to make absolutely certain that you eliminate those particular weaknesses. We call them development areas. So you got strength, you got weakness, then you got opportunities. Now, the interesting thing about this is the strength and weaknesses are normally an internal thing, if you and me, with the person, but the opportunities and threats are normally outside, okay? They're external. So with opportunities, you want to make sure that you exploit those opportunities. So if there's an opportunity to raise some funds or opportunity to obtain something, you want to exploit that. You want to make sure you take advantage of that. So you got strength, you got weakness, you got opportunities, but there are also threats, those risks, those threats. So what you want to do basically is you want to remove those threats or minimize it, because some threats just won't go away, but some you can eliminate, you can get rid of. So you got strength, you build upon them. You got weaknesses, you want to eliminate those through training and development. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited within the Church of God of Prophecy right now that we have this particular training program for all of our leaders, for all of our members, for everyone. Because we want to eliminate the weakness. We want to make sure that we maximize the opportunity. This is amazing, amazing opportunity for our members, for our leaders, and even for our pastors as well. So that's really significant. That's really, really important. I mean, it's just amazing. And so we are doing things to make sure that our members, our leaders are really supported. Because if we invest in our leaders, if we invest in our people, guess what? It will just make the organization better. It make the organization grow and expand, because we are investing in people. We are investing in their growth and their development. Somebody invested in me, Bishop Mike Wilson, and many others invested in me so that I can share these things. Now, the interesting thing about this is I'm sharing this slide with you and I have no notes. Everything is coming from here. Everything is being memorized up here. I have no notes here. I don't have anything I'm looking at. I'm just going by the information that's in my head right now. And this, my brothers and sisters, is an amazing. Let me say this to you. Listen to me very carefully about what I'm about to say. Every company in the world that is successful is using this principle. I wonder if you heard me. Every company in the world that is successful are using this principle. You know why? Let me share a verse with you. This is not Bible studies. This is fun time with Pastor Errol. It's just that I can't get away from the Bible even when it comes to fun time. But because there is a scripture that comes to mind, I just want to share it to you. And you know the scripture, but I just want to share one thought, a thought from it. So it's Proverbs 29:18, okay? Proverbs 29 and verse 18. Here's the verse. Proverbs 29 and verse 18. Now, I want to read that, and the Holy Spirit just showed me another one, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. This one here. So let me go back first to Proverbs. Now I just want to make a point about here, this point here, because most of you would have heard lots of messages in that, but most people don't talk about but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So most people don't talk about that. Now listen to this carefully. Where there is no vision, people perish. And if you don't have a vision, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. Okay, that's the reality. If you don't have it, you're going to have a problem. I'm not going to go into that. But the second bit has a colon after the word perish, after the letter H. And what it is doing is what's coming next is an amplification of what went before it. And then it said, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. He that keepeth the law, happy is he. What does that mean? Well, there's a law of gravity. Okay, let me use my device here. The law of gravity states, every time I let this go, it's going to fall to the ground. Every time. You see that? Every time. Okay. The law that's being talked about in Proverbs 29:18 is not the other laws of God, though it could be. But it's talking about the exact same verse that if you don't have a vision, you will perish. That's the law. Where there is no vision, the people perish. That's the law. You can't break it. That's the law. That's the point I want to make. It's a law. That's the law. It's not talking about God's other laws. It's talking about the law of the vision. The law of the vision is if you don't have one, you will perish. Period. Now, in Habakkuk chapter 2, what did it say? God said it, not me. He said, write the vision. I never said it. Write it. Write it down. Write it. Write it. That's the point I wanted to make. Write it down. Put it on paper that he that, and then it says, and make it plain up on top that he may run that read it. Who's going to read it? You. You're going to read. It's your goal. It's your vision. Write it down. Put it on paper. Put it down somewhere, and look at it every so often. Okay. Every so often. Right. I think that's enough on that fun time, and I think that's really, hopefully, it's clear. It's one of my greatest personal. I mentioned here in terms of personal development tip. It is one of the greatest tip that you will ever hear me share with you. I'm not saying this is the greatest tip in the universe, but I tell you, companies are using it. They are obeying the law. I have never been to a company that did not have a written goal of what they're trying to achieve. Never. They've got the memorandum and article of association, the trust deed, their charity document, and so on, their company document, whatever, all of it. As you turn the page, there it is. Their goal, the statement of why they're in business and what they intend to achieve. The world is following it, so should we. I hope that fun time tip will really resonate with you. Don't forget, if you have any questions or any comments, please put those in the chat room, and I'll be delighted to pick up on any points that you may have. But it's great to see you guys. Great to have you guys with us, and we've got a lot of things to share with you going forward each week. But I want to give you a software tip in a moment, and I just want to check that there are no comments that I need to address in the chat room. So I think that I'm kind of seeing that there are nothing to look at this moment. But yeah. Now you can see the kind of music that I'm into. Well, sometimes. Okay. Right. Now, I want to just share something with you guys that I think would really help you. So I'm going to just bring this up first, and then we will go from there. Now, I don't know if some of you have heard about a company called Canva, and this is the actual company, but I need to show it to you better than this. But I'll just share it nonetheless at this time in the moment. But some of you may have seen flyers like this that I have. I find it very hard to concentrate listening to the music. I may have to take it off my head, but I'll leave it for a moment. So flyers like this are designed in Canva. All of those are designed in Canva. This here is Canva. So make a note of it. I'm going to write down the actual name for those of you that might be interested in a free software. So it's free. Okay, it's absolutely free. Let's make it clear. I have the paid version, but you don't really need that unless you're going to do certain things. But the free version can do this. Okay, so that's just amazing. And you don't have to master software like Photoshop and things like that. You know, it's just truly phenomenal, and everything is in one place under one roof. And guess what? It's free. And it's all you have to do basically is go to www.canva.com. Okay, that's simple as that. And in this particular software, you can do some remarkable things. I can't get to show it to you the way I want to tonight, but I will definitely show that to you a little better next week, because I need to go onto the site. But I need to just bring that to you, because the good thing about this, you know, and I think that we should always be sharing what we are learning. Does that make sense? So someone called me recently and shared a free software with me that literally changed my writing skills overnight. In fact, instantly. It just changed everything for me. And it was just amazing. But someone shared it with me. So that's the reason why I think that it's worth us sharing with each other. So you find something, you share it with me, I find something, I share it with you, and so on. But this software here is, you can go in and you can log in, or you can actually just sign up for your own account. And as I said, when I come back, I'm gonna do it a little bit better, because I just not able to do it the way that I want to do it at the moment. Okay, but I will address that point. I just cannot figure out at the moment how to actually do it the way that I would like to do it. So let me try something here and see if this would work. Let me then come back here. Okay. It's not working the way I want it to work. So I need to address a few points, but I will most certainly I need to be able to do it in a particular way. Maybe yeah, but no, that's fine. I will set up better next week to be able to do it. It's just that the system is not allowing me access to do it the way I'd like to do it. But I'm going to make an attempt at something and see if that works. I'm going to make an attempt at something and see if that would let me do what I want. So let me just check it and see if it does work the way that I want it to work. And if it does, then I will be able to share it with you. So let me just double check just to make sure that it comes through. So I'm just waiting for it to see if it works. No, it didn't work. It did not work. Okay, doesn't matter. I will figure that out next time. But nonetheless, go to this website, and if you're into designing leaflets. Now, what you could also do as well is that even if you are not using it, maybe someone in your local church could use it. Maybe someone in your local church could benefit from using this particular tool. Okay, and I think that, you know, every time I do something, it then reverts back to, if I do this, yeah, there's something I need to figure out as to why it's doing things the way I want. Okay, no problem at all. But yeah, let me just make the point and then go from there. Canva.com, as I mentioned before, it's a free software. There may be people in your local church, okay, young people in particular, who I'm not even sure why that is happening the way it's happening here. That's really remarkable. So yeah, everything I click is just showing up on the screen. But nonetheless, all of these that you see here is designed in Canva. Okay, I've designed this in Canva. So all of that you see there is designed in Canva. So even if you are not interested in it, tell it to your pastor. Tell it to the young people that are there that here is a software that you could possibly use to actually take the presentations to another level. Are you following me? So so when you design things like that, it's just, it looks professional, but it's very simple to do. And listen to this carefully. You might be an individual who wants to use this as a business to design flyers and leaflets to other people. There are people who charge £30 just to design that leaflet you see behind me. Or maybe this one, they will charge you around £30, £20. If you go on places like Fiverr.com, there are people there selling their business because people are wanting to grow their business. This, I didn't design this, but you can do this in Canva. I can do that in Canva in 15 minutes. I can do this in Canva in 50 minutes. So when we do, for example, let's see if I could bring up one here. When we do, for example, the Illuminate service, I'm the one who designed the flyer. You know, I can do it and turn it out in seconds. I can do it in no time because of the skill that I have generated over the years. But anyone can do it because you can take a template and just modify it. It's just that I can't show it to you right now, and I will definitely try that maybe next week and go from there. So when you see these flyers coming out and so on, they are actually produced professionally, and and I use Canva. And now I also use Photoshop, but Canva is it's just awesome. It's free, even though I've got the paid version. It's free, but you can do some remarkable, and I say remarkable things with this particular software. Indeed, it's just absolutely out of this world. So I strongly recommend that you pass it on to somebody else. You share it with somebody else. You let somebody else know about it. Does that make sense? So this one, I designed this one, and all of that is done in Canva. So when I go back, I just modify it, get a picture to go on the back of that. So I change the picture, then change all the different pictures, the names, and so on. Very simple. 20 minutes, it's all over. But somebody with my skills would charge you for that. So the key thing I would say to you, if you're in a local church, pass this on to your pastor, pass this on to the young people. Canva.com. That's the website. I'm going to see if I could bring back up. There it is. I'm not so sure why when I click something, it just goes like that. I didn't set it to do that. So it'd be great to know why it's been doing that to me. But yeah, this is the way that I've been doing it. So Canva.com, go there, sign up, get an account. And the other thing to do, basically, I would recommend is to go to my university. I have a university that I attend nearly every day. I go to this university. It's one of the places where I actually get my training. So I want to share with you a university tip. So the University of Errol Williams. Are you ready for it? I want you to make a note of it, please. And I mean, just amazing. It's amazing. But anyway, my university, I want to put this in green because I love green. Green is my favorite color. You know, I got to tell you a joke about my wife and that color. And so the university is the University of YouTube. Well, this is a fun session. You know, I gotta tell you this fun story before I close out, and it's just truly amazing. It's just really amazing, actually. I love this story. So, what actually happened was, I'm not so sure why it's doing that to me. Why is it doing that to me? That's phenomenal. I need to figure that one out. You know, one day I came home, and as I opened the front door and pushed the door, I almost pushed my wife off the ladder. She was standing on a ladder and she was painting. So I started to smile. I started to laugh. And I said, June, what are you doing? She said, I'm painting the house. And I'm still laughing. I said, when did you decide to do this? She said, around 2 weeks ago. And then I asked her, so where was I? And then she started to laugh because she knew exactly what I was referring to. And then I said to her, but June, why would you paint the house in green? And what she said next really, really made me think. She said, I thought green was your favorite color, which it is. And what made me laugh, you know, is the fact that she was doing it for me. And sometimes, you know, in the past, I would, when she did this, I would turn it into a debate or an argument, you know, why don't you involve me? Why don't you include me? And so on and so forth. But Mother Pullman, the wife of the late Bishop Pullman, once told me a secret. And she said, because I was complaining to her about my wife just doing things without asking me in the house and all kinds of. And she gave me an advice that really made me smile rather than complain. And she said, what you're going to understand, Errol, is you're spending so much time away from the house, but the house is her haven. It's her baby. Leave her with it. And you know what? I took that advice and just left her with it. And you know, life has just been so beautiful. I must say that advice from a wise mother was just amazing. And I also want to say thanks to her for that beautiful, beautiful advice. Just leave her with it. And so I've learned to smile. I've learned to look at it in a different way. And, you know, interesting thing about it is that she was doing it for me. That was what was amazing. It was really amazing. She was doing it for me. And while I was with her away, we went away and our just before our anniversary, went away for weekends, spa weekends, and so on and so forth. And I must say, I got to learn to know her a bit more on that particular thing. Now, we have a daughter called Pepsi. That's right. Her name is Pepsi. And Pepsi, that's right. Her name is Pepsi. I'll spell it for you. And I might tell you why I named her Pepsi. So Pepsi's in Jamaica. So while we were sitting eating, I phoned Pepsi because I just wanted to let Pepsi into the conversation my wife and I were having. So Pepsi answered the phone, and her boyfriend also was there. And Pepsi, my daughter, said to the boyfriend, well, mom and dad has been together for 45 years and they're celebrating their 37th, anniversary and so on. So the boyfriend said, what's the secret? And so they're waiting for me to respond. And I said to him, the secret of 45 years, is that you got to know when to be silent. You got to know when to speak. And there's a scripture that says, he that keepeth his mouth, keepeth his tongue, keepeth his life. He that keepeth his tongue, he that keepeth his tongue, keepeth his life. And, the interesting thing about it is I was saying it in jest, but it's true. It's really has been true in my case. Let's put it that way. That he that keepeth his tongue, keepeth his life. And it really, truly is a phenomenal thing. Right. You asked me the question as to why I named her Pepsi. And this is my last point. Why did I name her Pepsi? Well, I went to the carnival many years ago. Now, Pepsi is 30. No, my apologies. Pepsi is 40, 41 or 42. And she just had her 40th birthday the other day or last year at some point. So she's around 40. She's around 41, just going 42. And I was at the carnival and I was just walking with my friends. We were just going about, enjoying ourselves at the carnival. And all of a sudden, this young lady started holding my hand. Now, 40 odd years ago, I was only 20 something. And she was just holding my hand. And I found it quite strange. I've never had that experience before. And here I am walking, and all of a sudden, there's a young lady holding my hands. Beautiful young lady, to say the least. And I just looked at her and smiled. I said, what's your name? And she said, her name is Pepsi. And I thought, wow, I've got to have a daughter named Pepsi. And that's how it came about. That's how the name Pepsi came about. And well, it's Errol Williams' lifetime, and it's a fun time. So that's just, my story with regards to my daughter Pepsi. That's how she got that name. And in fact, she loves the name Pepsi, actually. And she's a fashion designer. She makes wedding dresses. I mean, absolutely amazing. She made me a suit. Shirt, jacket, and stuff. And one of her goal is to open up a shop in Paris, London, and New York. That's been the goal for around 30 years. And I'm gonna say this, one day, all my children, this is the way I brought them up. They had to read a book a month. Okay, they had to read a book a month, and they had to do a presentation before their friends and family. And they have to do a flyer, a leaflet, using Photoshop, because I trained them how to use Photoshop. And they had to get at least 20 people in the home, or else they failed. So listen to this. They had to read a book a month. Then they had to design a flyer, a leaflet, distribute it to their friends. And a minimum of 20 people had to attend, or else they failed. So Pepsi came to me and she said, Dad, on one occasion, she said, Dad, can I not read a book, but I want to do a fashion show. something in me said, no way. So my heart said no, but my head said, go ahead. So I was kind of curious. Fashion design, what's she gonna do? Anyway, she did her stuff. I didn't know what she's doing. I didn't follow through on her. And she did her flyer and she invited, the house was packed. My wife had done catering and the house is packed, 30, 40 people sitting all over the place. Then I sat in the room not knowing what's going to happen. And they used this staircase as the catwalk coming down into one part of the living room, walking out to the other part, and then back upstairs on the stairs. I could not believe what she did that day. And sometimes, with our children, we just have to maybe the heart is saying something else to what the head is saying. But my heart said no, but my head said yes. And today she's an amazing fashion designer. She's an amazing, and she does other things, but she's just amazing at what she makes, wedding dresses and so on. So hopefully one day, she will have that Pepsi outlet in Paris, in New York, and in London. And I look forward to the day when that happens. But it's been a fun time with you guys tonight. It really has been. And I really do wish you guys all the very, very best moving forward. And may God really richly bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It really has been an awesome, awesome privilege. And I'm grateful, really, I'm grateful that you guys are here tonight. Wish you all the best. I didn't, thank you so much, Jen, for the mention of the quizzes and so on. Really do appreciate that very, very much. Thank you so much. And I'm wondering why, I'm trying to figure out why on Fun Time, every button I click is going over to that. So I need to figure that out. So if I turn something off, I'm going to see if that happened exactly. And that is an amazing lesson I just learned there, actually, because now that I click on everything else, it's yeah. So while I was playing around with things, things were not working well. But it's good to be able to have the knowledge to know what could possibly be wrong, so that when you're in a production like this, anything can go wrong. So just in a quick recap tonight, then just do a quick recap. Just to remind you that the second, third, and fourth Wednesdays, it will be fun light time with me. And there are lots of things I'll be doing. And tonight I decided, and I will show this, maybe every now and then, is as the setup that I use. It's a very high level setup. It's a professional setup. There are other cameras I could use, but this is the real top of the game, if you want to put it that way, in terms of equipment and so on. There are other cameras I can use that is even better than that one, but I'm using the best software in the world. It's only on Windows. It's vMix. To me, it's the best software out there. It's a paid one, but there are free ones out there. The free one, I was trying to remember the name of the free one. It's called OBS, okay? Open Broadcast and something like OBS. It's a powerful software. I've used it and I recommend it as a free software. But this is my setup and this is the things I do. If you want advice and things like that, I will be more than happy to indeed share that with you. I also, I think tonight, really focused on a personal development tip. And it's really one of the best tips I can share with you. I mean, it's just amazing. Set your goals, make plans, put them into action, and be a constant reviewer. And that's really where the key is. You're reviewing your goal, you're reviewing your plan, you're reviewing the action, you're reviewing what you've learned, mistakes that are made, and so on. You want to build on those strengths. You want to eliminate weaknesses. You want to exploit opportunities, and you want to remove threats or minimize them, as the case may be. Well, it's been fun. It really has been fun. I enjoyed myself tonight, I must say. It's something that I wanted to do many, many moons ago. And can you believe it? I'm doing it tonight. And I'm so, so honored to have the opportunity to share with you. I did share with you also one software that I really believe that you should pass on. If you're not going to use it, pass it on. And I mentioned basically that it's canva.com. It's a free software. I've got the paid version, but you don't need the paid version to produce quality leaflets like this. You know, quality leaflets like this. This is a video one, by the way. You with me? So that you can output it in video, you can output it in PDF, you can output it in PNG, JPEG. It is a world beater. I mean, millions of people are using it. Why can't you? So all these things that you see me, the flyers that I'm using, they're all done. I mean, this is a high level flyer. I mean, this is a high level one. But it's done in Canva. If you were doing that for somebody, you might charge them 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. Are you with me? And it was free. So pass it on to your church, to the young people, and those who don't know, just pass it on. That's what I like to do. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me. I've run over time a little, but I really appreciate you guys. Love you guys lots. And thank you so much for joining with me tonight. And I hope that tonight in some way has been of benefit to you all. So let me bid you good night from here. And thank you so much for tuning into the session. It's been an honor and a privilege to share some of these tips with you. And I have a lot more I want to share with you as we go forward. So take care of yourself and your family. Until next time. Bye for now.